In the annals of history, few civilizations cast a shadow as long and magnificent as the Persian Empire. It was an epoch-defining power that stretched across 3 continents, influencing cultures, governance, and warfare for centuries. But before the grand palaces of Persepolis, before the royal road connected distant satrapies, there was a nascent idea, a flicker of ambition in the rugged mountains of the Iranian plateau. This is the story of how an unheralded people, led by visionary kings, ascended from obscurity to forge an empire of unprecedented scale and sophistication, forever altering the course of the ancient world. Our journey begins in the 7th century BCE, on the vast and diverse Iranian plateau, a land of arid plains, towering mountains, and fertile river valleys. This was home to various Indo-European tribes who had migrated here centuries earlier, among them the Medes and the Persians. These were not yet a unified force, but scattered communities, often pastoralists, living under the looming shadow of the dominant regional power, the Neo-Assyrian Empire. Their lives were defined by local struggles, trade, and the constant threat of imperial expansion from their powerful neighbors. By the late 7th century BCE, as the mighty Assyrian Empire began its precipitous decline, new powers rose to fill the vacuum. Among them were the Medes, who had established a formidable kingdom with its capital at Ecbatana, known for its 7-walled fortress. Under their king, Cyaxares, the Medes allied with the Babylonians to utterly destroy the Assyrian heartland in 612 BCE. This victory positioned the Median Empire as the paramount power in the region, extending its influence from central Anatolia to Afghanistan. For generations, the Persians, though distinct culturally, existed as a vassal state to their powerful Median cousins. Into this world, around 600 BCE, was born Cyrus II, a name that would resonate through millennia, Cyrus the Great. He hailed from the Achaemenid clan, a noble Persian family tracing its lineage back to Achaemenes, a semi-legendary figure. Cyrus was raised as a prince in Anshan, a Persian territory subject to the Medes, and by all accounts, was a man of both military prowess and keen political acumen. His grandfather, Astyages, was the Median king, and Cyrus served him faithfully, but beneath the surface, a revolutionary spirit was brewing, poised to challenge the established order. The tension between the Median overlords and their Persian vassals erupted in 550 BCE. Cyrus, sensing weakness and fueled by the desire for Persian independence, led a revolt against Astyages. This was not a prolonged, grinding war, but a swift and decisive campaign. Accounts suggest that elements within the Median army, disaffected with Astyages' rule, defected to Cyrus's side. Ecbatana, the Median capital, fell quickly. In a display of unusual clemency for the era, Cyrus spared Astyages' life, incorporating the Median aristocracy into his new administration. This act set a precedent for his rule: conquest followed by integration, not annihilation. With the Medes subjugated, Cyrus didn't simply replace one kingdom with another. He skillfully merged the two, forming the core of what would become the vast Achaemenid Persian Empire. The Medes, once masters, became equal partners in this new dominion, their nobility retaining positions of power and influence. This strategic integration proved crucial, preventing prolonged rebellion and forging a powerful, unified force. The fledgling empire, now encompassing a significant portion of the Iranian plateau, looked outward, its borders touching powerful neighbors who would soon feel the weight of Persian ambition. Across the Aegean, to the west, lay the wealthy kingdom of Lydia, ruled by the legendary king Croesus, famed for his immense riches, the source of the saying, "as rich as Croesus." Alarm at Cyrus's rapid expansion led Croesus to forge alliances with Egypt and Babylon. In 547 BCE, Croesus launched a preemptive strike, attacking Persian territory. Cyrus responded swiftly, marching his army across Anatolia. The ensuing conflict culminated in the Battle of Thymbra, where Persian tactical superiority, including the innovative use of camels to frighten Lydian cavalry, secured a decisive victory. Sardis, the Lydian capital, soon fell. Before engaging Cyrus, Croesus famously consulted the Oracle of Delphi, asking if he should go to war. The oracle's enigmatic reply: "If Croesus crosses the Halys River, a great empire will be destroyed." Croesus, interpreting this as a prophecy of Persian downfall, advanced confidently. He was tragically correct about an empire being destroyed, but it was his own. The Lydian campaign not only secured vast riches for the burgeoning Persian Empire but also brought control of vital trade routes and access to the prosperous Greek city-states of Ionia, extending Persian dominion to the shores of the Aegean Sea. Next on Cyrus's strategic map was the powerful Neo-Babylonian Empire, a realm of unparalleled architectural and cultural splendor, home to the Hanging Gardens and the legendary Ishtar Gate. Yet, internally, it was unstable. King Nabonidus, alienated from the powerful priestly class and unpopular with his people, spent years away from the capital. In 539 BCE, Cyrus launched his invasion. The Babylonian people, disillusioned with their king and likely viewing Cyrus as a liberator, offered little resistance. The Persian army, under Gobryas, entered Babylon almost unopposed, an incredible feat for such a formidable city. The fall of Babylon was marked not by destruction, but by a declaration of peace and religious tolerance. The famous Cyrus cylinder, a clay artifact inscribed with a royal proclamation, details Cyrus's policy of respecting local customs, religions, and returning displaced peoples to their homelands. He allowed the Jews, who had been exiled to Babylon, to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple. This policy, a radical departure from the brutal Assyrian and Babylonian practices, earned Cyrus the admiration of conquered peoples and cemented his reputation as a just and enlightened ruler, fostering loyalty across his expanding empire. By the time of Cyrus's death around 530 BCE, the Achaemenid Empire was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Its boundaries stretched from the Aegean Sea in the west, encompassing Anatolia, Syria, Mesopotamia, and the Levant, across the vast Iranian plateau, and into parts of Central Asia. This was truly the first world empire, a multinational, multicultural entity governed by a single authority. Cyrus had not only conquered vast territories but had laid the administrative and ideological groundwork for an empire built on respect, integration, and efficient communication, a blueprint for future imperial powers. Cyrus's son, Cambyses II, inherited this colossal empire in 530 BCE. His reign, though shorter and more tumultuous than his father's, was marked by one monumental achievement, the conquest of Egypt. In 525 BCE, Cambyses launched a daring campaign across the Sinai Desert, exploiting internal divisions within the Egyptian pharaonic system. The decisive Battle of Pelusium saw the Persians defeat the forces of Pharaoh Psamtik III, opening the way for the occupation of Memphis and the subjugation of Egypt, a prize sought by many empires for its immense wealth and strategic importance. The Persian Empire now spanned Africa. While successful in conquest, Cambyses's rule in Egypt was fraught with tension and controversy. Egyptian sources portray him as a ruthless tyrant who desecrated temples and mocked their gods, though Persian accounts differ. His campaign into Nubia proved disastrous. As he prepared to return to Persia to quell a revolt by a usurper named Gaumata, Cambyses died suddenly in 522 BCE, possibly by accident, suicide, or assassination. His death plunged the empire into a brief period of instability and civil war, threatening the very foundations that Cyrus had meticulously built. From the chaos emerged Darius I, a distant cousin of Cyrus, who, with the help of 6 noble conspirators, overthrew Gaumata and claimed the throne in 522 BCE. Darius spent his early reign suppressing numerous rebellions across the empire, meticulously documenting his struggles on the Behistun inscription, a trilingual relief carved high into a cliff face. Once consolidated, Darius proved to be perhaps the greatest administrator in ancient history. He was not just a warrior, but a visionary statesman who meticulously reorganized the vast empire, ensuring its long-term stability and unprecedented prosperity. Darius implemented sweeping administrative reforms, dividing the empire into approximately 20 satrapies, or provinces, each governed by a satrap, a royal governor. To prevent unchecked power, each satrapy also had a military commander and a royal secretary, all reporting directly to the king. A sophisticated postal system, utilizing the legendary Royal Road, facilitated rapid communication across thousands of miles. He standardized coinage with the introduction of the daric and established a uniform legal system, fostering economic integration and central control across the diverse territories. These innovations were revolutionary. To maintain order and project power across his vast dominion, Darius relied on a formidable military, most famously including the Immortals, an elite corps of 10,000 professional soldiers. Their name derived from the fact that their number was always kept constant. If a man fell, he was immediately replaced, giving the illusion of an unkillable force. This professional army, supplemented by diverse contingents from across the empire, allowed Persia to enforce its will, expand its borders further into India and Thrace, and suppress any threats to its stability. The military was the backbone of Persian might. Under Darius I, the Achaemenid Persian Empire reached its largest territorial extent, truly becoming the dominant power of the ancient world. From the Indus Valley in the east, encompassing parts of modern-day Pakistan, across Central Asia, through the heart of Mesopotamia, Anatolia, and the Levant, extending to Egypt in the south and parts of Thrace and Macedonia in the west, it was an empire of unparalleled geographical scale. This vast and diverse realm, unified by Persian administration, became a melting pot of cultures, technologies, and ideas, held together by a surprisingly flexible and tolerant imperial system. Darius's ambition was epitomized by his grand capital at Persepolis, a magnificent city purpose-built as a ceremonial center. Adorned with monumental staircases, vast reception halls, and intricate reliefs depicting peoples from all corners of the empire bringing tribute, Persepolis was more than just a palace. It was a physical manifestation of Persian power and the diversity it encompassed. Begun around 515 BCE, it served as the spring equinox celebration site, showcasing the wealth and might of the Achaemenid dynasty, a lasting testament to an empire that had risen from humble origins to unprecedented heights. The Persian Empire, born from Cyrus's vision and cemented by Darius's genius, created a blueprint for imperial power that would echo for millennia. It demonstrated that a vast, multicultural empire could be governed not solely through brute force, but through sophisticated administration, religious tolerance, and cultural integration. From its modest beginnings on the Iranian plateau, a unified Persian identity, driven by two extraordinary kings, expanded its borders, absorbed diverse peoples, and established a political and cultural legacy that shaped the ancient world. Its rise was a story of ambition, innovation, and an enduring testament to human ingenuity.